Derby County have made a bid of around $7 million for the signing of Patrick Agyemang from Charlotte FC. And this is a statement move by Derby County, and one in which I think could be absolutely massive heading into this season. Now, obviously, for Derby County, this is an absolutely huge amount of money. You look back to last season, the amount we spent on that of the likes of Kenzo Holdmine, the likes of Jakub Vidal-Zetterstrom, and you even look a little bit further at the likes of Sondre Langas, and this is an unbelievable fee for Derby County if they wish to go through with this deal. Now, it works out at around £5.1 million, which obviously for Derby County is a tremendous amount of money, but it is what is within the budget in regards to that of the Erin cash-in money. Now, obviously, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys have to think about this, but I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper in just a moment. But if you have not done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, Patrick Agyemang is a player who is very raw in a sense of the world of football. Only been involved in first team football since 2023, of which he was drafted to Charlotte FC in the MLS, of which is contracted until December this year with the option of an extra year. Now, he has scored 5 times in 9 appearances for the USA, and he is 24 years old. Now, don't get me wrong, I am all for Derby County spending money. I'm all for Derby County picking up players who are going to have an impact. Now, this season, it's 8 goals and 2 assists in 18 games, which I don't think is that bad at all. I actually think it's quite impressive. I think what comes here is the discussion around the fee, around the conversation around that. When you look at, I'm not saying other teams are doing better business than us. I'm not saying other teams have better positions than us. But what I am sort of looking at here is Derby County have only spent over £1 million about 3 times in the last 3 years or so. You look at Sondre Langas, which was 4.5 to replace that of Erin cash-in. You look at Jakub Vidal-Zetterstrom, which I believe was in the region of £2.2 million once the add-ons clock in. And then I believe Jorgen Selverson was just around £1 million. So it's one of those for me where Derby County is certainly pushing the boat out in terms of fees and what they could potentially spend. And what I'm worried about in this regard, I'm not at all bothered about Derby County spending money, but what I'm bothered about now is we are lacking depth in midfield. So if we're going to go and spend what's left of our remaining budget on Patrick Agyemang, for example, and we don't then pick up wide players, we don't then pick up central midfielders, it puts us in a very, very difficult position where we might not be able to sort of have the quality that we probably need. Now, obviously, this is purely an opinion-based conversation, and obviously, I don't know the financial position of the club. You don't know the financial position of the club, and as I've said time and time again across the course of making these videos, there is a world where Derby County have investment but won't announce it during the transfer window, and I think that is really important to discuss here when we're looking at this potentially £5 million move. Now, obviously, when it comes to the move, is it going to be £5 million up front? I'm not entirely sure. Dom Dietrich put out on Twitter, I understand that Derby County have made a bid for striker Patrick Agyemang, but it's more towards the $7 million mark. Plenty of numbers are being put out there at the moment. Now, obviously, as of right now, there is no confirmation that it's coming to Derby County. So as much as we've put that bid in, it's not set in stone that he's going to come here. Of course, there's other clubs interested. If Derby County want him, of course, other clubs are going to be interested. And that's sort of the conversation that we've got to have. Now, obviously, when we discuss sort of the £5 million move that we're looking at here from Derby, I think what's important is where can this player get to? Can he go and be a 20 goal a season striker? Can he be a 20 contribution a season striker, which I think is important to notify the difference. Now, for me, if you go back to someone like Chris Martin, for example, when he was at Derby County, now I'm not saying that Chris Martin is the baseline, but realistically, when it comes to strikers, Chris Martin is the baseline at Derby, because I don't really think we've had a top level striker since him, essentially. Now, obviously, if we look at his numbers at Derby, it's 76 goals and 37 assists across the course of 224 appearances. Now, he wasn't always a score 20 goals, but every season he'd have 20 contributions. And I think it's important that our strikers are able to get involved in the build-up play, put the ball in the back of the net as well, and have a real impact. Now, I think we saw last year that Jerry Yates, on his own, could get involved in the play. He could put the ball in the back of the net. It just wasn't consistent enough. And whether that was because he was having to do so much work in the back end that when he was in the forward end, it was a problem. Because, fatigue sets in and things like that. So what is really important, and from the clips I've seen of Patrick Agyemang, I'm not saying that he's going to be this build-up striker. I'm not at all saying he's going to be this target man that takes the ball into feet, brings players into play, but he does have a knack for the goal, and he does actually, in my opinion, I think he looks really good. Now, obviously, the MLS is where it classes in terms of the Championship. That is a question that many of you can answer down in the comments. Some people will say probably League One, some people may say mid-Championship, and that's obviously a discussion which will always continue to go on because of the reputation that the MLS has. But in my opinion, £5 million, a striker that scored 8 goals in 18 this season, you put that as a Championship season, what do you play, 46? So let's double it. So let's say he plays 36 games, that's 16 goals and 4 assists, which for me, I'd be happy with that as a striker at Derby County. You've already got Carlton Morris coming in, and this obviously also opens up the door for Derby to play 2 up front with, obviously, you've got Morris, Selverson, Agyemang, you've got Dejan Brown around the building as well, depending on what happens with him next season. So for me, I don't necessarily believe this is a bad move. I think it's a good move, which gives Derby County multiple options in the way they attack. It gives them multiple options in the way they set up for a game, which ultimately makes Derby County harder to read, which I think has been a problem for Derby across the course of the last few years. Now, obviously, a lot of people have their own opinion, but for me, I think the most important thing as Derby County is getting a style of play that gets us points and wins us games, and that's what we found towards the back end of the season. Do I want us to play like that next season? No, I don't really want us to be this sit in, counter, win 1-0 type of team. I want us to be a bit more comfortable in games. I want us to be able to hold possession, and that'll obviously come with the midfielders that come in, any more defenders that come in and things like that. But I think this deal for Patrick Agyemang, and I know I keep saying it, but I do think it's a good move. Don't get me wrong, £5 million is a lot of money, and when it came to Sondre Langas, I'm pretty sure I've got a video where I say I didn't expect Derby County to spend that money, even with cash-in going at the cost he went with. Now, obviously, this move and probably the Carlton Morris move probably takes up the rest of that cash-in budget, but it gives us 2 strikers that we know can put the ball in the back of the net and we know could have an impact should Agyemang join. And we've also got Selverson, Dejan Brown, and there's obviously a load of other talent coming through the academy as well. So I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in the move. I'm not going to say I'm happy in the move. But what I am going to say is I think if you look at what he can do and you look at maybe signing a player at 24 years of age in the Championship, I think we'd probably be spending the same amount of money. So it's going to be really interesting to see where it does go. Now, a lot of people are trying to relate this to business, to an investment thing, but ultimately I don't know. There's not been any sort of discussion in regards to that. Now, obviously, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. And make sure you check out all the links down in the description. Obviously, you've got the raffle. Check out Kitbag as well, all the new training gears out there. So obviously, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next video. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.